everyone, Moro here. If you are using VRoid to create your VTuber model and want to get creative with tools such as hair sculpting with hair guides to create unconventional, non-hair objects for your character, you may have noticed that when you go to pose your model, these objects move with the direction of the head instead of moving with another part of the body you had hoped it would. Let me show you an example. In a recent video, I made this Jeff the Land Shark onesie for my VTuber model. And while the onesie outfit is primarily made with modified clothing made within this program, which is already linked to and moves in sync with the body, the fins that I added here are made out of hair pieces. While this looks fine on a stiff A-posing model, when this model moves, these shark fins that I created using hair pieces move with the direction of the head, because all hair made in the VRoid program by default are attached to and move with the head. See how silly this looks? Ideally, these pieces should be grouped with other body parts of the character model. Like it would make sense for the back shark fin to be attached to and move with the direction of the spine, and for the tail fins to move with the direction of the tail. Not to mention my usual model's angel wings to move with the lower spine as well. Unfortunately, transferring bone weights is not possible in the VRoid program itself. It needs to be done in an external program, but don't worry, it's also free. I'm sure you've heard of the program before. It's called Unity. If you've never used Unity before and are a bit intimidated by it, don't be. I've never touched Unity in my life, let alone ever attempted to make a 3D model before all of this, so I am just as much as a beginner as you are. The things we will be doing in Unity are really bare bone, surface level stuff. But first, the program VRoid, where I will assume your model's design is pretty much done. Before we export our model, I also suggest checking your expressions panel within VRoid one more time and make sure all of the expressions are looking how you want them to be. In this particular tutorial, I won't just be transferring the bone weights, but I will also be showing how I add blend shapes to the model. Blend shapes are essentially a way to more heavily modify your model's existing expressions, add optional but more interesting expressions, and prepare it for mocap if that's what you'd be interested in doing. The tool I will be using for blend shapes does cost a small bit of money to purchase, but blend shapes aren't required if you simply want to get into using your VTuber model right away and simply having it run properly. This is a tutorial for me as much as it is for you, as this is how I personally set up every model that I make in VRoid. After you are satisfied with how your VTuber model looks, you don't need to make any more changes to it. You can go ahead and export it following these steps in order to prepare it for Unity for further modification. Go to the export icon in VRoid in the top right corner, the one next to the camera icon. Click on that. Click on Export as VRM. There are a few settings we need to check before we click on the Export button here. Uncheck Delete Transparent Meshes under the Reduce Polygons tab. Uncheck the Combine Hair Mesh box. This one in particular is quite important, but if you accidentally keep it checked, there is still a way to transfer bone weights and such in Unity with a combined hair mesh. It's just that you need to remember whether you checked this box or unchecked it, so you know which procedure to follow up with later in Unity. After unchecking Combine Hair Mesh, click on the big blue button that says Export. Make sure you have VRM 0.0 selected because all of the programs we'll be using later will work with 0.0, not 1.0. Fill in the title with the text you like along with the creator. These fields are required to complete the exporting process, so just put anything in here really. This field where it says version isn't required to be filled, but it is a good idea to do so anyways, because it is easier to keep track of which model is the most up-to-date one. You can put whichever numbering system works best for you, as long as you keep track of it. All of the rest of these boxes are optional, so fill them in as you like for what your purpose is. Once you are satisfied with everything here, click on the Export button at the bottom. Choose a location as to where you would like to put your file. I suggest being as organized as possible because you will need to find this model later. Personally, I keep a 3D model folder in my Documents folder, and in that, I made a VRoid folder for specifically VRoid models, and within that, I now have folders for each character model, and I'm going to open that and save it to this folder. Time to move on to the next program, Unity. Before doing so, we have to find Unity on the Great World Wide Web, along with all of the asset packages we will be adding to the Unity program. There will be a total of 5 things to download for this whole process, minus 1 if you want to skip adding Blendshapes. We need to download Unity Hub, a specific version of Unity from the archive, UniVRM, HANA Tool for Blendshapes, and the Bone Weight Transfer Tool. I will link the websites of where to find each of these tools in the description of this video for ease of access. Here is the official Unity website. First things first, download Unity somewhere on your computer, open it up on your computer, and install it following all of the instructions. Next, visit the download archive on the Unity website. I will also link that specific page for you all to find more easily in the video description. We're going to go to the 2020 tab, hit Ctrl F on the keyboard, and type in the following: 2020.3.13 F1. Then hit Enter. This will help us find the exact version on this long list that we need to download. Click on the Install button for this version. Downloading the correct version of Unity is important for what we are doing because there is a chance that one of the older or newer versions of Unity will not be compatible with the tools that we want to use in it. Next, we need to download the asset package for UniVRM. This tool will allow us to import and export VRoid models into and out of Unity. Here is the website and the download link. Scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says Assets and download the top package of this list right here by clicking on it. This is the only one you will need from this list. On to the next asset package for Unity, we need HANA Tool, so we can add Blendshapes to our VRoid model. Again, this program helps with perfecting your existing model expressions and add a few fun more. It's not required to get your model up and working properly, but it's nice to have. You can skip downloading this tool if you want to. Here's the booth page for the HANA tool, and specifically version 4 for VRM 0, again, linked in the description. This is the only part of the process that requires a cost. But it's not too much money, only 1,500 yen, which is about 10-ish USD. By the top one here, follow the purchasing process and download the files after purchase and place them on your computer to find it easily later. The last package we'll be needing is the Bone Weight Transfer Tool. It is also found on Booth, linked in the description. Do not worry, I know it says there's a price tag on the top one here, but that one is not required. You can simply download the free version below, which says 0 yen. Again, once you download it, save it to an easy to remember place on your computer. Finally, all of the asset packages we need have been downloaded. Now we can finally open up Unity and begin working on our VTuber model in order to finish it up and get it ready for use. Open up Unity Hub. Once it's open, click on New Project. At the top here, change the editor version to the specific one we downloaded earlier, version 2020.3.13 F1. Make sure you have 3D Core selected here. Choose a location for your new project in your computer files. Again, a place you will be able to remember later. Then hit Create Project. Just wait a bit for it to load everything. Before we begin to work on anything, we must add all of our asset packages to Unity. We have 3 asset packages in total: UniVRM, HANA Tool, which is optional, and the bone weight transfer tool. How do you import an asset package? We go to Assets on the top menu bar, then go to Import Package, Custom Package, then you find the package you would like to import, starting with locating and opening your UniVRM from wherever you saved it in your files. This window will then pop up. Don't change anything here. Just simply click Import at the bottom of this window. Another window will appear after a brief moment. Just press Accept All. Once that is done, we move on to the next asset package, the HANA Tool. Again, this tool is optional, so if you didn't download it, skip this step. If you did download the HANA Tool, the procedure for opening the asset package starts off similar to UniVRM. Go to Import Package, Custom Package, then you find the package you would like to import, in this case, HANA Tool. Make sure it's the one that says the word VRM in it, not the one without it. Open it. Again, a window will appear, and you only need to click on the Import button at the bottom of it. It's time for the final asset package that we need: importing the bone weight transfer tool. Starting with the same procedure for opening an asset package, go to Import Package, Custom Package. Then you find the package you would like to import, bone weight transfer V0.4. After that, open it. A window appears of which you will simply press the button that says Import. All of the tools that we will be using have now been imported into Unity, so we can begin actually working on finalizing our model. First step, importing the model we just exported from VRoid. This is what the UniVRM tool is for. We can locate the tool on the top bar here titled VRM0. In the drop-down menu under it, click on Import from VRM 0x, find the model you exported from VRoid earlier. The model I'm looking for obviously hasn't been through Unity yet, so I locate it in the VRoid folder and open it. Once you do that, it will ask you where you want to save the prefab. Don't change the location of the prefab here. Just save it to where it automatically selects to save it. Click Save. It may take some time to load, so just be a bit patient. Once it's done loading, you should see some new folders enter in the Assets window at the bottom here. One of these files shows a small thumbnail image of your VRoid model itself. Just drag and drop this into the center window, which shows this 3D sort of plane. You can use your usual 3D model navigation tools here, like scroll to zoom in, left click to select your model, right click and move to rotate your camera around the model, etc. I've also noticed that sometimes the colors on the model can look a little different here. Like, notice how my skin is a slight bit more pink than normal? It's just the light setting defaults in the program. The colors should look exactly how you had them in VRoid, so no need to worry. So the first thing I am going to do is add Blendshapes to the model via the HANA tool that I installed. These do a number of things like add additional expressions, make more expressive expressions, prepare it for more powerful facial tracking mocap programs, and fix errors in existing expressions. If you did not install the HANA tool, feel free to skip to the timestamp on screen to jump right into how to transfer bone weights. Again, this tool is not exactly necessary. To get started with the HANA tool, click on the tool from the top menu and click on Reader from the drop-down menu. Select which gender base you use for your model. Only choose one of the top two options, not the bottom two. Then, from the left panel, click on the arrow to the left of your model to open up the drop-down options. Select the face root from it and drag and drop it into this small box where it says Skin Mesh Renderer. Once you do that, click on the button that says Read Blendshapes. Then press OK in the pop-up window, go back to the HANA Tool on the top menu bar again, and then from the drop-down menu, select Clip Builder. Then from the left panel, instead of selecting the face, drag and drop the whole model and drop it into the avatar box. No need to change any of the settings, just click on the Clip Build button. Press OK. The blend shapes have successfully been conjured up. You can view them by going down to the bottom left panel, opening up the drop-down under Assets. Look for the asset here with a title that includes the word Blend Shapes. Click on that. Now you can see the complete collection of all of your blend shapes. Each one that you click on should open up a panel in the bottom right of what the expression looks like. Right above that expression close-up is another panel where you can modify how this expression looks. Click on this arrow next to the word face to open up the drop-down options. And you can play around with these sliders to modify how this expression looks when activated. For example, here is my sad face. If I want, I can make the mouth more tiny and round whenever my face shows sadness by adjusting the U slider. There's also a master list of blend shapes amongst one of these assets here. If you find it and click on it, you can view all of the expressions by name more easily. It is titled Blend Shape Avatar. As you may have noticed, this expression list is quite extensive. At least half of these or more you will not need to change, and you can leave as is. As you go through the list, there will be a few with blaring issues. You will need to adjust. See, this is one of those expressions I was talking about in particular. See how the brow is morphing into the top set of eyelashes? Definitely do not want that. With the power of blend shapes, we can use the sliders to make sure the brow is no longer hiding inside of the eyelashes when I perform this expression. You will also notice a few extra emotions that are more fun and unique that are offered through the HANA Tool. Expressions such as the tongue sticking out. You can assign these a key to toggle on and off in your face tracking program of choice to give yourself more variety later down the line. Now finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. How to reassign bone weights with the bone weight transfer tool. First things first, locating the tool. I believe past iterations of this tool presented itself in the top bar where the UniVRM and HANA Tool are. But as you can see, it is not there. I don't know why, but do not worry. It's just hidden in a different drop-down. Go to Window, then Bone Weight Transfer. Now, depending on how you exported your VRoid model from VRoid, the following steps will be slightly different. It all depends on whether or not you exported your model with a combined mesh or a separated mesh. A separated mesh is slightly easier. That's how I exported my model here. In case you did it the other way, you simply choose the latter. After selecting your corresponding mesh, from the left side panel, open up the arrow on your model and find all of the hairs you would like to reattach to other parts of the body instead of all moving with the head. At any time you would like to check the status of what your bones are attached to, you can move your model's various body parts in the center panel. If you want to target a specific body part, you can search for it in the various drop-down options underneath your model in the left panel. For example, because all of the hair pieces are grouped with the head, if I select the head root in the left panel and rotate it using the rotate tool that appears within the head in the center panel, you can see my model's wings and shark fins move with the rotation of the head. It's because I sculpted these parts using the hair tools within VRoid. Naturally, they would be grouped with the head, because, well, they are technically hair. See that? Obviously, we don't want this. That's what the bone weight transfer tool is for. So just keep in mind at any time you can check your work with rotating different body parts in the center panel where your model is. Step 1 is to locate the hairs that are giving us these problems. Remember, it won't be all of your model's hairs because some of them from the list are the actual hairs on your model's head that you would probably like to keep there. We're just trying to locate the hairs that were made to represent non-hair items like the wings and fins. I've got an extremely long list of hairs to reassign bone weights for. I used multiple strands to sculpt the shapes of my wings, but I wouldn't do it this way in the future. I know there are ways to work with just one hair strand for each wing, and I would definitely do it that way if I were to do it again. Anyways, I have no choice but to work with what I have. You can always find which hair piece you need to work with more easily by clicking on it on your model in the center view window here. For example, the bottom portion of my character's right wing is hair number 013. I've already made a list of which hairs represent the wings on the side, so I'm just going to go ahead and select all of them from the left panel, both the left and the right wings, and drag and drop them into the bone weight transfer menu where it says target objects at the top right here. You can expand the drop-down menu from target objects to see the complete list of bones you just dragged and dropped into it. Next, find the parent bone from the root, which we know to be the head because that's what is currently stuck rotating with. Once we locate the head from the left panel, drag and drop it into the source bone box. Then we are going to find the new target for our wings. Logically, where would I want my wings to be attached to on my body? Probably somewhere in the spine area, right? Somewhere in the middle? Go through each of the options here and play with their rotations in the center panel. See which root best represents where you would like to regroup your bones to. With the spine drop down, I think the chest bone best represents what I would like my character's wings to be grouped with. This part is like a combination of the back and the lower stomach area, so I'll choose this one. Drag and drop your chosen bone into the target bone box. Make sure parent to target is checked off here. Double check everything. You can then hit transfer bone weights. If it's successful, it'll tell you in the bottom left right here. 16 out of 16 successful. 16 bones successfully transferred to the new target bone. We should always check our work to make sure it was truly successful. Let's start by moving the head of our model. Good. See? The wings no longer move with the head. The shark fins obviously still need to be rebound. If you have multiple hair groups you would like to rebind, like the shark fins, make sure you do them one at a time and separately, because you don't want the fins to be rebound with the wings to the chest area. Maybe I could do that for Jeff's back fin, but definitely not for Jeff's tail fins. The tail fins should be rebound to the tail bone. We will do that later once we are done rebinding these particular bones. One last test before we move on to the fins. We are going to rotate the bones that the wings were just rebound to, in this case, the chest. Let's rotate that and see? Moving with the chest and not the head. And it's pretty much the same process for the other hair pieces. I still need to regroup. Just repeat it. Make sure you clear all of the bones from the last bone weight transfer. Don't want to mess up the work we had just completed doing. We need to start from scratch. Jumping ahead, I skipped over rebinding the back fin because it was really simple and more of the same with what I showed for the wings. For the tail fins, we're going to look up these hair numbers and select them: 59, 60, 61, and 62. I found these out ahead of time, so that's why I already know them. Drag and drop those from the left panel into the bone weight transfer tool window and directly into where it says target objects. Drag and drop the head into the source bone like before. Now time to search for the target bone. Oh good, they do call it a tail. Nice, but instead of selecting a whole tail, I want the fins to be connected to the lower part of the tail, which seems to be this particular bone called end. I will drag and drop this into the target bone now, then click transfer bone weights. Now, let's test to see if that worked. As usual, test rotating the head first. Good, good. The tail fins no longer move with the head. Now let's see if they move with the tail. And yep, they do. Successful operation. Once you are done transferring all of the bone weights you would like to, go ahead and close the window. If you are certain you no longer want to make any more changes in Unity to your model, you can go ahead and export it. To do so, you have to use the UniVRM tool once again. Go to VRM 0 at the top, open up the drop-down menu, go to Export to VRM 0. Once that window opens up, click and drag the full model from the left panel into the export root box. You may have to press the arrow here on the left to go back. We want to click and drag the one with the blue box icon next to it. The window will fill up with all of these boxes. You don't necessarily have to fill all of this in, but you can if you want to. One thing you will probably want to change is the version number. Don't want to accidentally use an older version of the model where you may not have necessarily added Blendshapes or done the bone weight transfers yet. Then you press the export button. Make sure you save it to a place you will remember, and also name it something you will also remember. Personally, I made a file titled Unity Models, so I know which ones have been finished up through Unity already. Then press save. And that's it! The model that we just saved should now be ready for use in facial tracking programs that accept VRM/VRoid models. I personally use a program called VseeFace. I just find that one works best for my computer and my equipment and such. But I'm sure there are other quality facial tracking programs that are out there that you can also use. If you'd like, I can also make a VseeFace tutorial, or I can show you what settings I personally use in the program. Let me know in the comments below. That's it for now! I hope you found this guide helpful. Please consider liking and subscribing if you like seeing digital art, traditional art, crafts, and gaming. I do all of those things here on my channel. As always, see you tomorrow, whenever that might be. Bye-bye!